Hello?
Hello there, is that John Michael?
Hey, how you doing?
Very well, thank you. It's DJ Gloss here from Sound Fusion Radio in London. How are you doing?
Yeah. Thanks for the support and everything with the music.
Never a problem. Absolutely great. So, whereabouts are you in the world then? Where do we find you?
Yeah. I'm in Virginia, close to Washington, D.C.,
Wow.
with the White House and everything. I'm probably like 45 minutes from D.C.
That's not too bad. That's close enough to be close and far enough away to be away, if you know what I mean. So, yeah, that's good. I like it.
Yeah, I don't have to run into political people all the time.
So, has the weather been good to you over there, or is it a bit cold at the moment?
It's really cold, actually, right now. It's in the 20s.
In the 20s. Wow, that is very cold, isn't it?
Yeah, and the wind's blowing, too.
Yeah, well, that doesn't help much. The wind chill factor brings it down to, some very cold feeling temperatures in the bad weather. But there you go. Do you mind if I start asking you a few interview type questions? Is that okay?
Okay.
Okie dokie. Well, I was just wondering, John, how did it all start with you? I mean, I know that you've been writing from a very young age, but I mean, how did it all start musically with you?
Well, as far as the music, I did it a lot kind of like in the digital way, you know what I mean? I'm, a young artist, and nowadays, you can do so much with social media, and, you can download software and things like that, and that's kind of how I did it. I made music in the studio that I made myself in the house, and just kept putting music out there and, sharing it on Facebook, YouTube, MySpace, and, over time people started finding it and listening to it, and I guess, word of mouth spread, and it found its way to my label, Top Notch Music.
Yeah, wow, that's really good. So what got you interested in music in the first place?
I've always loved music. I mean, I think everybody loves music, but I think in high school, some friends of mine, they were like making music, and it was kind of cool to me, the fact that they could actually make it. Because I never really thought about making it, you know what I mean, just from a creative standpoint. And they kind of got me involved with that. And people liked it. People said, I like your voice. Because I didn't really know I could sing. It was just something I would do in my spare time. And they would tell me to do it more. And, when people give you a good reaction like that, you just want to keep coming back and giving them something new.
Yeah.
So that's really how it started.
Wow, there you go. And can you remember your first public performance? Can you remember what that was?
Yeah. Well, I did chorus class. I was in like a chorus group in high school, and I do remember. I think I was about 15 or 16, and I did a solo in the. It was like a Christmas concert for the school, and the parents came and everything. And I think I did Boys to Men in the Still of the Night. That's what I did.
Is that what you, wow, there you go. Well, that was a really good start. I'm liking the sound of that. That's brilliant. Yeah. So very good.
I ended up messing it up because we did that show, and then we did an encore show. And for the encore show, I agreed to let my friend sing the solo, and he froze up on stage, and I ended up getting the teacher fired and everything.
Oh dear. Oh, well, it was an eventful evening, if nothing else. That sounds funny, actually. I shouldn't laugh, but, I can see the funny side of that, really.
Yes, you did all right.
Well, so, who were you listening to? Who were the artists that you loved, sort of from a younger age? I mean, who were your idols, I guess I'm asking?
Well, early on, Michael Jackson was like a huge idol for me. And, I mean, there was a time, because I didn't really have cable a lot growing up, so my mom and dad, we had like, I got a lot of brothers and sisters, and we have the recording of that Jackson's movie that they did about their life, like Jackson's American Dream.
Yes, yeah.
Yeah, so I would watch that every day. It was to the point that I was so young that I thought that those were really the Jacksons, you know what I mean? I didn't know they were actors.
Yeah.
But I would just practice the songs and dances every day and do the moonwalk. And people, every time we had like a cookout or something like that, people were like, John, do the moonwalk. So I used to always do that. And then as I got a little older, I got into like Stevie Wonder, and my dad used to have me tap dance and stuff, so I would listen to a lot of big band music from like Fred Astaire, Cab Calloway, and Nicholas Brothers. The music they would dance to.
Wow, yeah, that's a big old selection there, actually. If you're going from Cab Calloway, across to Stevie Wonder, across to Michael Jackson, and Fred Astaire as well. I mean, that's a big old selection and some wonderful influences. So, what was the thing with the R&B scene then? What took you there? Was that a fashion thing, or was that just the music that resonated with you?
No, it's something that once I got into high school, that's when I really started listening to a lot of, actually middle school into high school. I started listening to like Dru Hill's album. And Dru Hill's album was the first time that I really wanted to sing. I was around 12 or 13 years old, and listening to that, it made me just want to sing like nothing else. It didn't make me want to write. It didn't make me want to produce or anything. It just made me want to sing because I thought it was cool the way that they sung. So I would just listen to that. And when you get curious about music and you listen to it too many times, you got to go out and find some new music. So I would get into Donell Jones. I would get into John B., Brian McKnight, Babyface. Then I backtracked and realized that Dru Hill came from Jodeci, and then you backtrack more, and Jodeci came from Aaron Hall and Charlie Wilson and things like that. But that's kind of middle school to high school. I got really heavy into R&B, and also Glenn Lewis, music soul child.
Wonderful. And it's and if you trace it far enough back, it goes all the way back to sort of blues and jazz, all the way back, and it's a wonderful story to trace as well, and and great fun. But I can hear some of those influences in the way that you create music. You're just 23, aren't you?
Yeah, I know a lot of people think it's like it's an old throwback to like the '90s R&B, but that's just the kind of R&B that I love. You know what I mean? That's when I was around middle school. That was what was popular. Yeah,
but for somebody of 23, you've got a very full catalogue of music, and your later album, the Sophisticated album, it has got a maturity about it that that comes from that experience. And yet I look at you and you're 23 years old. So how did you get to there? Tell us more about it.
Well, as far as like the mature outlook on the album, I think it has a lot to do with the fact that I grew up and matured kind of fast anyway. You know what I mean? Just since I do write my music and mix and everything, so a lot of the things that encompass just me and my personality and my everyday life is gonna find its way through my music. So when I write songs, I never really lived that young and dumb life. You know what I mean? As soon as I graduated high school, I moved out of the house and got my own apartment, and I was in like a relationship, and just went to work, and I was pretty much like more of a mature person. I never had those few years where I could do nothing. You know what I mean?
Understood.
So
yeah.
I think that contributed to my music being more mature.
Yeah, I can. It's definitely there. So, when you started writing at the age of 16, what made you want to write your own music, and where does your inspiration come from? I mean, for most people it's everyday life, but for other people it's not. So I'm just kind of interested there.
Well, I got started writing at 16 because, like I said, my friends, they all made music, and majority of the artists that were my friends were rappers. Yeah. And, in the rap community, it's very important to write your own lyrics. So to me, it was more like a pride factor. I had to write my own lyrics. And, it became fun, it became something I could rest my hat on, and even if a person might not understand who I am when I shake their hand, when they listen to my music, they get a better glimpse of who I am, and that's where, the whole motivation is to write your own lyrics, to represent yourself.
That's right. Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and the video for Sophisticated Lady, that that's very good. The production on that is amazing. Who's the lady in it? Is she special to you, or was she just an actress?
Oh yeah, she was an actress in out in L.A. And it was cool because when we did like the casting call, I helped pick her out with the director Alex Magana and our label Top Notch. And she did what's it called, like that thing in Las Vegas where the dancers on stage. I forgot what it's called, French Cabaret or something like that.
Yeah, yeah. Mm-hmm.
And she did some advertisements for Grand Marnier alcohol, and she's done Bowflex, I think, commercials. She's actually done a lot of work, so it was cool to have her be so professional, you know, on the set.
But it's a really serious production. It must have taken quite some shooting because you know, the locations are great, the scenes are very good. You know, it's got that kind of film production feel about it. You know, some people's videos are a bit sort of, you know, view cam kind of feel, but yours is just lovely. It's got like that kind of film production feel about it. So, you know, it comes across extremely well.
I mean, we definitely wanted to make it match, you know, the song, which is, you know, R&B at its truest form. Yeah. And, you know, like you said, a lot of music videos these days they're so flashy. You know, they might give you a seizure if you watch them too many times. But
good point.
But this video, you know, we shot it over a few days. I know we went to MacArthur Park in Los Angeles. We went in the library scene. That's I think the downtown Los Angeles library, and we went to there's a couple other places. But and then there was some green screen shots. So it was good. It was a fun thing, especially, you know, that was the first time shooting a video for me, so that was cool.
Yeah. Wow. There you go. The album Sophisticated, the sort of the main inspiration for the songs, could you sort of pick a couple and sort of tell us about how they came about, how you wrote the lyrics for them, maybe a couple of your favourites or something?
Yeah, well, you know, the inspiration behind writing the song for the album was just my life and relationships and love. And then also sometimes I write kind of like sometimes I'll get like feelings of what might happen in the near future as far as a relationship or just life choices go, and I'll write like that. And, you know, it just, the main focus with the album, number one, was to make sure every song was good. I didn't want one song where you would cut it off. You know, I wanted you to be able to listen to it the whole way through. Yeah. And I tried to get the many different situations that involve relationships, and I spent a lot of time on the track list to make it to where, like, the beginning of the CD, it comes off more as the good times, and then it moves more into, like, you know, Sophisticated Lady, where it's a little more up tempo, and then by the end of the CD, it starts dropping off to the times where it gets a little rough in a relationship.
Yeah, so there's a whole story going on there. It's a bit like a storyboard all the way through. Yeah, that sounds really good. John. You know, I love the way that the album is, you know, comes together, and you know, I've listened to it in its entirety, and you know, it's musically fantastic. Your vocals, absolutely fantastic. I mean, it's rare, I think, to hear all of that together. Sometimes you get an artist that's vocally fantastic and the sort of musical backing kind of doesn't work with them or lets them down. Other times you get fantastic music and, you know, the vocals kind of let it down, but you're kind of complete in that package. You know, you have the whole shebang, which I think is, you know, really, really good. And for someone of your age, you know, it's a very rounded experience. Do you use a particular band? Is there a band that goes behind John Michael, or is that session, or you know, what goes on with the sort of musical side of it?
Well, you know, a lot of my production comes from the relationships I've built up through the years of songwriting for other people. Yeah. So, and I get some production from some people in the States. There's some. I do a lot of work with people in the UK and Amsterdam, Germany, like Latvia, the Asia, some of the Asian countries. But I do a lot of global networking, and like I said, that's how I got into the music business, because I've always been good with computers. I've always been up on new technology, so I've been able to develop these relationships with people overseas or even on the other side of the United States, and they'll give me really good production that I can write to.
Yeah, and I guess that's all very transportable nowadays, isn't it? Everything can be transported very, very quickly, music-wise. If you get a melody and you can think of some lyrics to go with it, or if you give them some lyrics and they put a melody to it, the whole thing can happen very, very quickly. And compared to the old days, comparatively cheaply as well. Not that takes anything away from the production, but certainly it makes it easier for independent artists to come forward with quite a lot of very good material, doesn't it?
Yeah, definitely. I mean, especially when you do a lot of work with a lot of different people throughout the world through the internet, you kind of you get to kind of mask a lot of the bad stuff. You can hone in on the good production or the good anything you're looking for. In my case, I'm looking for good production, and there's a million producers out there in the world. There's a million artists, and sometimes you see everybody at one time, and it seems like you can't cut through to the quality. But when you spend a lot of time on it, which I do, it's easy to cut through straight to the people that are really perfecting their craft and bringing good music to the table, so that you can collaborate.
Yeah, it sounds really good, and it's great to to hear of the use of technology. Obviously, as a radio station, a worldwide radio station, we use the internet technology ourselves to project ourselves around the world, and that also includes the social media and and that side of it too. So I can fully understand exactly where you're coming from there. So with regards to the promotion of this album, what are you working on with that? Are you getting out there and performing it? What's the sort of thing with that?
Yeah, definitely. With the album Sophisticated, I've been able to perform around the country, and a lot of times in Los Angeles, Texas, New York City, Washington, D.C. area, Oklahoma City, a lot of places. Wow. St. Louis, just places all around the country. And I've been able to open up for a lot of great soul artists and perform alongside like Bilal, Dwele, Eric Benet, Raheem DeVaughn, Marsha Ambrosius. There's a ton of other ones, Mint Condition, Keith Sweat, Casey and JoJo.
Wow.
I've been really, thanks to Sophisticated Lady and my album and my label Top Notch, I've been able to really perform quite a bit and gain a nice following.
That's brilliant. That's great. So what about international travel? You got any plans on that at all?
Yeah, as far as my information, of course I have the album, and then I'm working on a mixtape that's coming out February 14th also. But I got the album Sophisticated, and you can also contact me or order the album at johnmichaelmusic.com. And all my social media is on there as well.
Yeah, I mean we're looking at the website here as a sort of a prep for today's interview, and yes, it's exceptionally good. I'll manage to get that word out in a minute, but no, it's exceptionally good. So that's brilliant. So what about moving on into the future then, John? What have you got planned, sort of going ahead from here? Where do you see yourself sort of moving from here? I mean, at 23, you're doing extremely well, but, where do you see things going?
Well, in the near future, of course, I'm a songwriter, so I want to collaborate with a lot of different artists and write for different people and work with different production groups. And as far as my solo career, I want to just be on bigger stages every time I go out, and bigger crowds and more following, and just really be a household name. There's no other reason to do something if you're not going to try to be the best or one of the best. And every time I go out, I'm trying to be better than I was the last time, and ultimately the best at what I do.
Wow, that's not a bad aim, sir. Not a bad aim at all. You got any sort of thoughts of? I know the new album, the album now has not been out all that long, but are you looking ahead to sort of more releases and that kind of thing?
Yeah, like I was saying a little bit before, on February 14th, I'm going to be releasing a mixtape called New Jack Thing, and it's actually like a lot of new original music, just just for the fans. Because to be honest, some of these songs on the mixtape coming up would probably be on an album down the road. I would just save them and just like any other artist would do. But, right now I just want to give people good music and, let them know that it's never going to stop and I can always just keep on, releasing quality music. And that's what this mixtape's going to have on it.
That's really good. That's really wonderful. And just really... as a last thing, if you could let the fans, we're obviously an international radio station, not just a UK radio station, but the UK could do with knowing a little bit more about you. So if you could just sort of let them know, again, your websites, your social media like Facebook, Twitter, etc., and just to sort of talk them through how to find out more about you, listen to more of you, and so on, that would be wonderful.
Okay, yeah. Anybody that wants to contact me, I'm very adamant about social media, and I'm very involved in it, and I'm always on my phone. And, if you want to get at me at Facebook, it's facebook.com/official John Michael, Twitter /for John Michael. So that's the number 4 and then John Michael. And my Instagram is official John Michael. And like I said before, my website's johnmichaelmusic.com. And if you remember anything, definitely remember johnmichaelmusic.com because you can connect to my social sites directly through my main website. So that's the best way to get to me.
Wonderful. So you got any gigs planned ahead for the weekend, or you got anything coming up in the near future, sort of live stuff?
Yeah, I got coming up, I think, let's see, February 13th, I'm going to be in Rochester, New York, to do a special pre-Valentine's show.
Wow.
And then also a couple of days, I think February 15th or 16th, I'm going to be in Washington, D.C. at it's a legendary place called Tacoma Station. Quite a few people perform there. Stevie Wonder has actually performed there as well. And I'm gonna be debuting the mixtape there live, and that's gonna be fun. And even though the mixtape comes out on the 14th, that's gonna be just available for download. But 16th will be a show for it.
Wonderful, John. I'm gonna ask you one more question, if that's okay.
No problem.
Okay, if there was an artist that you could pick to do a duet with, who would that be?
Oh man, duet. It's funny. I always think about artists for collab, but duet, that's a whole nother thing.
I was thinking of sort of a very special duet.
I really, really like Janelle Monáe.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, that would be fun.
That would be fun. Right, well, there you go. We've got it on record now, and no problem at all. That's absolutely lovely. If there's anything else, John, that you'd like to tell the fans about you or about what you're doing, then please feel free to do so right now.
The number one thing is just to appreciate good music, and whether it comes from me or anybody. And when I make my music, like my song Sophisticated Lady or the album Sophisticated, all I'm trying to do is be a part of the soundtrack of your life, because at the end of the day, every person is the star in their own movie, and my music, I'm just offering to you to be on the soundtrack. So that's it.
Wonderful, wonderful. Well, thank you very much, John Michael, for talking to us here at Sound Fusion Radio. It's been absolutely lovely talking to you, and when you've got more material coming out, or if you just want to chat with us again, give us a shout, and we'd love to talk to you again. Thank you very much, John Michael.
Oh, thank you. Appreciate the support.
Never a problem. We're always here, and we're loving what you're doing. Please keep doing it.
All right, no doubt.
Thanks very much. You have an absolutely wonderful day, and thank you for taking the time to talk to us.
All right, talk to you later.
Cheers now. Thanks. Bye.